All right, guys, we are back, and today it's all about releasing judgment. So a lot of men that I see nowadays, and a lot of people that I talk to, they're sitting with shame, regret, guilt, all of the negative attributes that men simply carry around because we think that it's okay to do that. And in all honesty, part of this is because of the fact that we give ourselves pretty much zero gratitude and zero love and appreciation for the good things that we've done in life. That's going to be something we talk about here in a little bit. But the main focus of this is the fact that we tend to hold on to judgment. We hold on to judgment so tightly of ourselves and of other people. And there's a myriad of reasons why we do this. Mostly what I've seen when it comes to coaching men and truly understanding the roots of this, it's because we don't feel like we deserve happiness. A lot of times this can be from our upbringings, or a lot of times it's just really the foundation of masculinity. Masculinity has been predisposed to martyrdom for a long time. Masculinity has been predisposed to this lone wolf mentality, but it's the lone suffering wolf. It's not the wolf that's actually with his wolf pack and actually living the life like a true wolf. It's the lone suffering wolf. And the lone suffering wolf is a man who believes that he can go out and do it on his own and harbor all the pain for other people because he doesn't want them to take that pain. There's good intentions in it. But the problem is when we have that judgment, of ourselves and we believe that we're less than, so then we don't deserve a great life, we just hold on to the pain, then that leads us to basically dying at a much younger age, typically, right? Because that's what happens to the lone suffering wolf. They don't die at a healthy old age. They die at a much younger age because they can't survive alone. And that's essentially what happens to us men. Now, it may not happen physically, so don't think that, it can definitely happen physically. You can cause ailments by harboring emotions and harboring judgment and depression and all those things. But what we're talking about is kind of that energetic and emotional death. Like we just dead inside. Most men are just absolutely dead inside, and they're sitting there plagued by the fact that they don't get to own happiness. They only get to own pain. And when you only own pain because you think that you're supposed to receive this because nobody else can handle it, well, then you just end up living a life of misery and you end up becoming just a shell of yourself. There's nothing in here anymore. And so for all of us men, what we get the opportunity to do is stop the cycle that has been pervasive through generations of masculinity, where people are just grabbing on to this judgment and saying, I'm going to handle that football because I don't want you to have to handle it. Well, big secret here, guys. Most of the people that you're handling their pain for them, they're just getting other pain, right? You can't protect them from everything. So give yourself the ability to just say, I'm going to support people when they're going through pain. I can be there for them. I can hold space for them, but I don't need to harbor that pain. I already have enough of that myself. I have my own life, my own judgment of who I am, my own expectations, my failures, my successes. I have all this to myself. I don't need other people's. So while we as men want to carry this around, and there may be good intentions behind it, trust me, guys that do this aren't typically bad men. They actually have very big, good hearts. The problem is it's misplaced. It's misplaced because of the fact that the people that need to carry their own weight and carry their own pain, they don't get to. And it could cripple them later in life. Or they just find different pain to grab onto that you can't help them with. So think about this the next time you're kind of operating in life and you're moving forward and you're like, wow, I'm really feeling that I'm taking on a lot of resentment and anger from somebody else, or I'm carrying their depression and sadness. Think about that and think about how you need to release those things. And then think about how some of those are actually making you judge yourself. And that you don't need to do that, because as soon as you can release that and move on from it, you can start to live your own life. And obviously, when you live your own life, you have the ability to find joy. But not only that, you get to refuse to play the game with the cycle that you're going to pass on to the younger generation. You get to refuse to play the game with the cycle that is getting passed on to the people in your ecosystem. Because when your partners see you handling this shit, essentially, when they see you handling this and it's depressing you and deteriorating your own confidence, deteriorating your relationship with yourself and with others, when they see that, well, then they are caused pain by you because they don't want you to suffer. So then their good intentions go to grab your pain, and then their good intentions end up putting more pain on them. You see how this kind of goes, guys? Like, if we can just really get ourselves to fucking see this, we can change the way even masculinity operates in the world, let alone the fact that we can change just the way we show the fuck up. How we handle ourselves. Because if we can treat ourselves better, other people are going to see that and treat themselves better. And we're going to influence a new class of people who actually give themselves love instead of hate, who actually give themselves support instead of the critic, right? Because there is a fine line between healthy criticism and the darkness of holding on to shame and guilt and regret. And most of us are not playing the game of actually being a critic for the sake of progress and evolution. Most of us aren't playing that game. Most of us are playing the game of trying to be the white knight. And the white knight is not what the world needs. The white knight is not what people need. They need to find their own suffering and pain just like you did so they can be stronger, and it can prepare them for what it is in their life that they're going to encounter. Because you have no clue what big things lie ahead of them. And if you take that burden from them, they may never find that success that they were supposed to have because they didn't know how to handle that situation. So as men, the best thing you can do is to release the judgment of yourself, to release the judgment of other people's pain and other people's, depression and other people's sadness and other people's, hatred and anger, is to release that, to not absorb that yourself and take that burden on. If you release that, then the best thing you can do is live your life and then support them. Support them when they go through those things. They need to figure it out as well, just like we did. And if we allow that to happen, we can allow them to become the person they're supposed to be, not the person we want them to be. And just remember, at the end of all of it, it doesn't matter if you try to step in and take any of this from them. They will find something different. They will find the pain that they need to find. Because life just works that way. If you remove something, they're going to put themselves in another position to find a different version of it. So just allow them to live their experiences and be there for them if that experience is to be what is the medicine in something that happened to me that was, painful, or was something that is, negative in my life. Now, obviously there's circumstances that we're not going to get into that fucking change that game, right? Like somebody getting picked on physically. Men, you should be stepping the fuck in. and, you know, or somebody getting potentially raped, like men, you should be stepping the fuck in and defending those people. That's different. What I'm talking about is the psychological stuff that we deal with on a day-to-day basis, not the extreme, very small percentage of stuff. Those things, those are the outliers that, you know, obviously men should be stepping in to take care of and do more than just support if we're able to do that, which is take that shit on. But for all these other things, the daily psychological stuff that we all deal with on a regular basis, that our families deal with on a regular basis, you can't take that pain away, guys. The best thing you can do is lead by example. By being that strong, good leader, you can show them that they get the ability to live their lives too. They get the ability to make their own decisions and then receive the consequences and outcomes from those decisions. You know, they are not always going to have you there to be their savior. You're not always going to be the white knight. That's just what it is. But there will be the time that they need your support, and that is more important than anything, because that allows them to find themselves, and then that allows you to be the leader that you're supposed to be. But this judgment of ourselves, because the fact that we believe we don't deserve something, needs to go out the door. We deserve happiness, guys. So stop trying to play the guy that's the white knight. We deserve happiness. We deserve joy. We deserve love. And we can get that if we allow ourselves to receive it. But right now, most of us aren't allowing ourselves to receive it because we don't think we deserve it. But we do deserve it. And every man out there deserves it. No matter how hard you are on yourself. You know, the judgments you have of who you are extreme criticisms that we've been conditioned to appreciate more than the value of loving ourselves and saying that we're very, very good at things and that we deserve the best that the world has to offer, because we absolutely do. There's no reason why you wouldn't, because other people have it, and many people with not great intentions have the things that you desire. Yet the only reason they have it is because they believed that they deserved it, and you don't believe that you deserve it. So how about we flip that script? How about we flip what you believe you deserve and start to give you the ability to say, I deserve all of this shit that's amazing, and I deserve a great life. So let me go out and get it, and let me take other people's pain off my load, and let me just support those people. So then I stop judging myself harshly because I'm taking on not only my own judgments, but the judgments of others. Judgments of the things that they're dealing with. So if we can move past this, men, we can create a stronger version of masculinity. This is the better caliber of man that we need to bring in this world. So it's up to you guys to start doing this, but you got to start asking yourselves the right questions. You got to start asking yourself, am I taking on someone else's shit? And what is that causing me to do about my own perception of who I am because of the fact that I'm taking on their bullshit? So ask that question, guys. Be real with yourselves and remove that from your list to do's and say, that's theirs to own. I'll support it. Let me live my life. All right, guys, till next time.